So I guess the controversial question is, are you really smelling an old lady perfume, or are you just too basic to appreciate it? So I want to talk about the concept of old lady perfumes. I sort of wanted to explore that idea of what that means exactly and what people are picking up. And as a trained perfumer, we sort of learn to work around our biases, because obviously everyone's relationship with different notes may vary. And throughout your life, you could have made different associations with different scents. So with training, it's not perfect, but we sort of learn to transcend some of those inner biases, right? And there's a couple of things to consider when it comes to what we describe as old lady perfumes. As anything in perfumery, there are different trends. Once upon a time, aldehydes were big in the world of fragrances. I do sort of predict them making a comeback, by the way. And floral aldehydes, we found them in many perfumes. Chanel No. 5 was a great example. Sort of, I wouldn't say necessarily a pioneer, but was definitely one that put the style on the map. The other part is the natural evolution of fragrance materials. So once upon a time, fragrances were made more often with more natural oils. What does that mean? So what does that mean, practically speaking, in terms of the molecular composition of a fragrance? Well, anything that's natural will have a wider signature or a wider footprint. If you look at kind of the structure of a natural oil, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of different molecules. With the event and the development of more synthetic molecules and isolates, we're able to kind of pinpoint the different molecules. But at the same time, that's sort of what we like about naturals, is that there's a little bit more going on and it adds depth. So older perfumes were composed with more naturals, which made them just a little bit wider and thicker. And with time, they've been reformulated, but always trying to keep the spirit of the original, which, is just a wider footprint. In a nutshell, the more natural oils that you put in a blend, the wider the scent signature will be. And the wider a scent signature is, the more complex it is. And by complex, I mean there's a lot more going on. And once upon a time, people were better able to handle that level of complexity because it was just a thing, right? People were just used to it. And similarly, it's the same thing in music. If you look into the history of music, if you go a little bit back, you'll notice that the music is a little bit more sophisticated, more complex. And that's not up for debate, that's actually a fact. So what this might all be pointing to is that perhaps the social nose is becoming a little bit more basic.